Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready to be astounded, bedazzled, and otherwise stupefied. My name is Lerone, and you're watching Vendalgo TV. I'm here today with my daughter, and I'm preparing her for her transition from childhood into adulthood. My daughter's name is Fina. Say hello.
Hello.
And today I'm going to share with her information that she can learn and put into practice, gaining financial literacy and in time becoming financially free. Okay. But the first thing my baby in her nice entering adulthood age should be doing is finding a job. What do you think about that?
It's very interesting.
Very interesting. Have you been looking into any filling out applications for work?
I've had a few ideas.
A few ideas, applications. Yeah. The importance of having a job is that way you can actually make money to start putting your money into sources that can make you more money. So you're going to go over that right there. But first things first, job. Second thing second, a budget sheet. A budget sheet is a tool that helps you track income and expenses to manage your finances. I have a budget sheet that I'm gonna send for you, but that's what it does. And I want you to utilize those tools because it can help you control spendings, put more money where it should go, that'll make you more money in the long run, and cutting off unnecessary spendings. You know, the difference between needs and wants. Speaking of needs and wants, could you tell me the difference between a liability and an asset?
An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes it out of your pocket.
Oh my God, my baby is so smart. That's right.
Okay.
And knowing the difference between assets and liabilities, what do you think you want more of?
Assets.
Huh?
Assets.
That's right, baby. You want more assets. Another tool that I'm going to send to you that is going to help you out with this is also an allocation spreadsheet, right?
Okay.
And the allocation spreadsheet is calculated in percentages. You enter the amount of money that you bring in after taxes, you know, the money that you can spend. And what it would do is it would divide that money up, right? My rule of thumb for you is the 75, 15, 10 rule. So when you put your income into the allocation spreadsheet, it's going to divide it by 75%, 15%, and 10%. And what happens is that better help you prepare for like your savings and your investment account. It helps it grow simultaneously, and it limits you how much you can spend for wants versus needs. You know, and as your money increases, so does the amount that you would put that you would have divided up between those numbers. And the thing that you want to do is even if you make more money, you don't necessarily have to live like you're making more money. You know, you get your basic needs first, and as you make more, you live just like you was living before, so that in the long run, you will have a lot more. Then you can flex in the long run after you have compounded your money. And that's what I'm here to demonstrate to you. Could you tell me what is investing?
Investing. Expending money with the expectation of achieving a profit or material result by putting it into financial plans, shares, or property, or by using it to develop a commercial venture.
That's brilliant, my sweet.
Google.
That is absolutely brilliant.
Okay.
And what I'm going to teach you when we get to that time, and I know you've been learning it currently because you've been learning in Bloomberg, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
Bloomberg, right?
Bloom.
Bloomberg, yeah,
That was
uh,
just Bloom.
yeah, and it's going to teach you how to use your money and put it into funds, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, what I want to teach you is how to put your investment money into funds, ETFs, which is exchange trading funds, and mutual funds. But the focus would be on ETFs. Why do I say put the money into ETFs? It's because with a lot of stocks, uh, you have to really dive deep into the company, seeing what their balance sheets look like, if they're actually profitable, who's managing and running it, is they up to date on trends. There's a lot of information that you will have to learn and use to your advantage when buying into your shares of the company. And we all know that companies can also flop. You can put so much money over the course of time and suddenly the business go out of business. This is happening in our history. But when you have it in the ETFs, on the other hand, you have a variety of companies, right?
Yeah.
So if one flops, the management of that ETF would replace that company when they're not doing so well with the company that is doing well. So the gains might not be as high as they might be for an individual stock, but it does reduce risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, so we're going to go that route, reduction of risk, until you learn more on the scales of how to choose individual companies for long-term growth. Okay,
Okay.
the ETFs. We're gonna talk about ETFs such as BTI, which is the Vanguard Total Stock Market that basically gives you access to all the businesses. you know, you get a
Mm-hmm.
small percentages of all the total stock market, and then you have another SPY. That's the S&P 500. That's the 500 most largest companies in the U.S. Okay, those are just examples of like the
Okay.
ETFs that you might want to consider uh, looking into. Those are examples. Not saying that's only buy. We're going to do our due diligence first, right? See what's best suited for you and your growth, right?
Okay.
And the goal of it would be to compound. So all the money you're putting aside um, for investing over the long term would compound it. You would have a snowball that would continuously grow, 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 grow. So by the time you're not able to work, when you're old and gray, you're like, oh my God, oh my God, well, get out of my yard, you little rascal. When you're old and gray, you'll never have to worry about, not being able to pay your bill because that doesn't stop no matter how old you get, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the final thing I want to touch on, my little sweet, is savings, right? You've been learning how to save growing up, right? Didn't you have your little piggy bank?
Yeah.
What was the max that you saved in your piggy bank? Do you recall?
Like I think the most I've saved was like about a few $100s.
A few $100s. That's great. You did save it though, So now we're gonna take that. If it was a case of an emergency, you had $200 to save, right? But now as you're transitioning into adulthood, there's more things that's likely to happen that's out of your hands that may have been uncontrolled or wow, came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So to prepare for situations like that, prepare for situations like the unknown, you want to have an emergency savings account. Before we
Mm-hmm.
even get to all the investing and all the putting money to make more money, you need an emergency savings account. So what I'm going to set you up with is three accounts. One for bills, and that's the money typically your job is going to pay and put money into that account.
Okay.
Second one is for um, your emergency savings, And the third one would be for the investing. And I already have the allocation sheets, and we're going to set you up for that. Okay. Um, what do you think is the minimum you should put into your emergency savings account?
2,000.
$2,000? That sounds about good to me. You know, um, having $2,000 in your emergency savings account is a great deal. It's a good safety net. That's a good starter safety net. When you decide to go to places like, oh, I want to move out of the house and get my own place. You might pay rent, right? Then you might
Okay.
want to consider upping the 2000 to at least 3 months of rent or 4 months of rent, whichever, seems fitting. Okay.
Mm, okay.
But when are you allowed to use the emergency savings account?
Case of any sorts of emergencies, like the car breaking down, the car, or yeah,
What about food? Is food an emergency?
food is very important. Mm.
Of course, only in the case of emergencies, right?
Mm.
Now,
Yeah.
are you ready to apply these little tips and tricks to gain financial literacy and have a secure future?
Yes. Yeah.
That's right. Now, let's end the show today. Let's end it by saying a great song. Are you ready? One, two, one, two, three. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya?
Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift.
The baffled king composing hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Oh, that was so good, baby. You're gonna be a star. For all of you thought watching, thank you for watching Vondago TV. Remember, say you can, believe you can, and do it. That's pretty much a wrap.